You too, handsome. What brings you here?
Just Dale.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is coming very soon on February 4, so I decided to replay the first game to refresh my memories. Kingdom Come had some technical issues on the release, but I enjoyed it a lot. It is such a unique game in many ways, for example with its historical setting. Of course there are many medieval fantasy RPGs, but games that take place in a pure medieval setting without dragons, magic and other fantasy stuff are rare. Playing it this time, I was also surprised by how immersive it is, and this immersiveness is a result of not only the game's visuals, but also specific mechanics that force you to engage with the game. In this video, I'll discuss some of the mechanics that make Kingdom Come so immersive. A small disclaimer, I played the game on the hardcore difficulty, which I think makes it even more immersive, and I'll talk about hardcore mechanics in a separate section. However, most of the things I will discuss are relevant to the normal difficulty as well.
What are you waiting for? Your lord requires you for the hunt.
One very important feature that makes Kingdom Come Deliverance immersive is the first-person view, which is designed incredibly well in this game. The only other game that I think comes close to that level is Cyberpunk. Almost every action in Kingdom Come Deliverance has some sort of animation. When you grab items, we not just magically teleport to your inventory, you grab them with your hand. You open doors with your hand. You also see your legs, you have physical legs, which might seem small, but a lot of first-person games don't have that. Yes, Starfield, I'm talking about you. It is so terrible when you don't have legs in a first-person game. You're basically floating in space and it kills immersion. Kingdom Come Deliverance, on the other hand, feels kind of heavy. You don't just float in space, you walk or run with your legs. You see things that your character does, like opening a door. Your armor produces noise. If you wear full-plate armor with chainmail, it rings when you run. There is also some interesting camera work. For example, when you are drunk or sleepy, your camera is shaking a bit. If you wear a helmet with a visor, your field of view during combat is significantly reduced. All of these things might seem insignificant, but they create a sense that your character is physically present in the game's world.
Someone has to bring order and reunite the Empire!
The world of Kingdom Come Deliverance is designed in a very consistent manner. Everything follows one sort of historic visual style. Armor, clothing, and buildings are designed in a medieval manner. The interface and the map are designed in a similar style. The map in this game is just beautiful. So nothing in the game feels like it's out of the game's world, which is very important for immersion. One aspect of Kingdom Come visual design that I appreciate a lot is the building's proportions. The size of buildings fits the size of in-game characters. It might seem like a weird point, but in a lot of games buildings are too small. Here, you can actually believe that characters can live in the houses. There are also some huge buildings like castles or churches. One of my favorite places in Kingdom Come is Sasao Monastery. When you are near it, when you look at it, you feel so small compared to this huge building. It's also cool that this is a real building that is replicated so well in the game. Another important feature of the game's world is that characters have schedules. Shops open and close at certain times, characters go to sleep and taverns. Of course, this is not unique, there are a lot of RPGs that do the same, but it is important for immersion as it makes the world more believable.
So if someone loses something and I happen to find it, I can bring it to you to store and I'll get groschen for it.
That's the arrangement.
From the game design point of view, what makes Kingdom Come immersive is the fact that almost every action in the game has a separate mechanic that you need to learn. In most RPGs, there are a lot of automated actions that are chance-based, and the chance is determined by your character's skills and attributes. For example, pickpocketing. The chance to steal something from another character is based on your pickpocketing skill and maybe agility, or something like that. But essentially in most games, there is no mechanic for pickpocketing. Another example is alchemy. In most games, you have a certain level of alchemy, and that allows you to brew certain potions. The higher your alchemy level, the better potions you can brew. But again, there is no alchemy gameplay, you just click on a button and you create a potion. One of the greatest things about Kingdom Come is that most such actions are turned into in-game mechanics. These mechanics are not very difficult or complex, but you still need to learn them to complete actions like pickpocketing, lockpicking, alchemy, repairing your sword, and some others. Of course, there are in-game skills that improve when you do all these actions, and the higher your skill level, the more effectively you can, for example, pickpocket. But you, the player, still need to learn these small in-game mechanics. You can't rely just on your character's skills. Even saving in this game is kind of a mechanic. You can just do it anytime you want. You need to either sleep or drink a particular alcoholic beverage. Another great example here is reading. You cannot read at the beginning of the game, which makes sense considering that you are a blacksmith's son who is not supposed to know how to read. You need to complete a quest to obtain reading as an in-game skill, and this is a very interesting quest in which you need to read a story and explain its meaning to your teacher, kind of similar to how I was taught to read in school. It's not enough to just know letters and words, you need to be able to understand the meaning behind the story.
Wonderful. So tell me, what have you learned?
That being greedy doesn't pay.
Excellent. You're one of my most talented pupils. You've uncovered the meaning hidden in the letters.
As a result, a lot of actions that are automated in most games here feel more difficult to complete. They require your physical actions. It's not just about the difficulty or realism, but all these mechanics force you to engage with the game. They force you, the player, to learn a lot of things that you need to do in game, and so they immerse you in the game.
Ma? Ma! I'm hurt. It won't stop bleeding.
Oh, now, stop squealing like a baby and show me that.
A similar thing can be said about combat. Because of the historical setting, there's not much variety in combat. You can pick between using a one-handed weapon with a shield or a longsword, but that's pretty much it. However, the game has a very complex combat system. You can attack from different angles and you can do combos. But doing combos and some special moves is actually difficult, and you need to learn how to do it. So again, it's not enough just to learn an in-game skill. You, the player, have to learn how to actually perform it. Luckily, there is a way to do it without constantly dying. You can train with Captain Bernard, who teaches you different moves, and you can practice combos with him. This is a very cool idea that again adds to the immersion. It is an in-game mechanic that is designed to train you, the player. The same goes for the bow. There is no in-game crosshair, and you need to learn how to aim, which is very challenging in the beginning. At first, it is just difficult to imagine where your arrow will land, but the more you shoot, the better you get at it. I think combat is what pushes a lot of players away from Kingdom Come Deliverance. If you try to rush, to just smash the buttons, you will have a terrible time in this game. You have to act more tactically and learn how to do special moves like counterattacks. The combat in this game is difficult, especially in the beginning. Facing 2 or more enemies is a serious challenge. But the more you fight, the better you get, and this adds to the immersion, because you feel progress, your path, from a peasant with almost no fighting skills to a master.
Oh dear. That looks painful.
That's all you gotta say about it. You useless prick.
Lastly, I want to discuss hardcore mechanics. I won't talk about all of them, just about 2. First, the hardcore mod minimizes the interface. It removes everything except radar, and in general, minimizing the interface is a great way to make the game more immersive, because it forces you to look at the game, not at the interface. For example, in normal mode in combat you have an in-game indicator that shows the angle of your attack. You don't have that in hardcore, and to see the angle of your attack you need to look at your character's hands. Additionally, in normal mode you have a little indicator that shows when to press block to make a perfect block, which is very important in this game. In hardcore, you need to look at your opponent's hands to understand when to press block. These are just a few examples, but generally, a minimized interface adds to the immersion because it forces you to pay attention to what is going on in the game instead of looking at interface indicators. Hardcore also disables fast travel and GPS. In other words, you still have a map, but you do not see your position on the map, and for me this is probably the most immersive thing about hardcore. Basically, you need to learn how to navigate the world. You need to learn how to understand your position by comparing what you see in the game and on the map. For example, road forks are a great way to orient in the space. You travel a lot on this game, and at some point you start to memorize the space and different paths. You don't even need to look at the map, you just know the path, kind of like in real life. This hardcore feature also creates some memorable situations. For example, once I got lost in the forest and spent about 10 minutes trying to figure out where I was. This is probably one of the greatest experiences I ever had in video games. I cannot imagine getting lost in the forest in any other game. Of course, it can be annoying at times, but in general I think this feature pays off with immersion. It forces you to look at the world, to memorize some places, to plan your path. It forces you to engage with the game. But God forbid you go to a forest at night. This is a pure nightmare.
Master Bailiff, is there anything of interest going on here?
Don't even talk to me.
A lot of people who watch the video to this point probably think that what I said is stupid. All of these small mechanics, orientation on the map, and other things are just annoying. They make the game less fun. And I understand that. Most things I discussed can be annoying, especially if you try to rush them without learning the mechanics. But I swear, if you give it a chance and try to learn how to do all these things and just take some time with the game without rushing it, it will pay off with immersion. Don't fight the game, but accept its rules. And I think this is the best way to play Kingdom Come. Slowly, patiently. I don't think Kingdom Come is fun in the same sense as, for example, Mario Rivals is fun, but it is fun in a different sense. It is a slow, immersive type of fun, if it makes any sense. This is a game in which you just enjoy spending time and doing small things. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. More will come about Kingdom Come Deliverance with the release of the second game.